First thin thread holding their lone assassin theory together, their single bullet theory. I don't know what to say other than they talk about people with far out imaginations. How this is the biggest stretch of the imagination one can imagine.
Darrow Tomlinson, a Parkland Hospital employee, reenacts how he found that bullet on a stretcher. The bullet was ballistically traced to Oswald's rifle. The Warren Commission concluded that it was the bullet that had wounded both men and that it had fallen out of Connolly's clothing onto his hospital stretcher.
The bullet was found here in this area, and not on that stretcher. That's the stretcher I took off the elevator.
The stretcher he took off the elevator was Connolly's, so Tomlinson found the bullet on a different stretcher not connected to the case. This led critics to claim the bullet was planted, but the commission decided Tomlinson was mistaken.
It was there when I came up.
This is the bullet. Could it look like this after it went through Kennedy's neck and then struck the governor?
The rifle shot. I turned to my right. I had time to think. I had time to react. And I turned to my right to look back over my right shoulder to see if I could see anything unusual, and particularly to see if I could catch him out of the corner of my eye. Because I immediately thought...
Him, you mean
the president.
The president.
Because I immediately thought of an assassination attempt. The moment I heard the shot, I didn't see anything except just the general blur of waving of people moving, but nothing really unusual. I did not see the president out of the corner of my eye, and I was in the process of turning back to look over my left shoulder, and had about come to the point where I was looking straight forward again when I felt the impact of the bullet that hit me. I am convinced beyond any question of a doubt that the first shot that was fired did not hit me. Then I was hit.
So he was hit through his chest, his right wrist, and wound up in his left, by his left knee. And left fragments in his wounds, but he suffered a delayed reaction, they claiming. So like I say, it occurred to me that what you want to look at is the governor's right wrist. So as we see here, as the president reemerges from the sign, he's already clearly been hit. He's already starting to react to his wounds in his throat. Now the governor is struck. Again, watch the right wrist there. There is the moment of impact. One more time. President's already reacting to his wound. About 2:28 or 9, 27:28. That's when Governor Connolly is struck. So it's kind of in between. The Warren Commission is saying they were both struck while they were behind the freeway sign. In actuality, the president was struck while he was behind the sign. He's already starting to react to his wounds. And then the governor is struck right here about 28:8. You can clearly watch his right wrist one more time. Right there.
Film.
Unfortunately, there's a road sign between the lens of the camera and the president at about the time of the first shot, which obliterates the view. So we can't tell exactly when the president was first hit. We do know that by the time his head disappears behind the road sign, it does not appear that he has been hit yet. At frame 225, President Kennedy shows the first signs of being hit. That is, he reemerges from behind the road sign and his hands are coming up toward his throat, being clenched. Governor Connolly, on the other hand, doesn't show signs of being hit until frame 237 to 238. We have quite a stretch of time there.
To me, it's rather obvious that the president had been struck before Governor Connolly was wounded, because the president was placing his hand up to his throat. And at that time, the governor was showing no signs of any distress that he had been struck in any way. It was just a few frames later that he obviously had been wounded and showed signs that he was in pain.